Who is your number one linebacker?
Will, I might surprise you on this. I might not. But for me, what jumped off when you sort of combine what jumped off on tape, what was overall production last year, the measurables and the intangibles, you put it all together. For me, it's Devin Lloyd. I think that he is an absolute stud. This guy is a different animal, okay? 6'3", 235, obviously ran a 4.6, 640, but it just goes so much beyond that. I mean, you talk about the production. It was absolutely insane. 111 tackles this year, 8 sacks, 4 interceptions. I mean, the most dominant. I know we talk about, Thibodeau and what that ceiling is and that upside, and no question about it. And obviously we've had our episode on defensive ends and what have you. But in terms of who was the most dominant player in the Pac-12 conference on the defensive side, it was Devin Lloyd last year, no question about it. And what just sort of separates him is, a couple of things. He got off to such an incredible start to his season. First 3 games, 3 consecutive 10-plus tackle games. But to me, this guy can impact all 4 levels of an offense. And so when you talk about behind the line of scrimmage in terms of disrupting the quarterback with sacks and QB pressures, as well as sort of lateral and flat plays, when you talk about run stuffing at the point, at the line of scrimmage, and sort of being tough and being physical there. Then when you talk about pass coverage in that sort of intermediate line of scrimmage to 9-10 yards area, the guy was an absolute monster there. And then he had some plays where even 15 yards down the field, he was deflecting passes and sort of leading tips to other guys. And his ball skills are just absolutely out of control. I mean, the 4 interceptions that he had, I remember the game against Stanford. I mean, he snatches that ball out of the air and just sort of falls into the end zone. Others where it was absolutely sensational in terms of even his catch radius as a linebacker was insane. And then when you couple that with the fact that you can put him on the edge and have him be an edge rusher in certain packages, and you can play that sort of hybrid linebacker defensive end slot a la Von Miller, I mean, you have an elite prospect here that is an absolute game changer defensively. And so for me, he was number one in my mind, no question about it.
He was my number one too. And I think everything you said, he just checks every single box. Pass coverage, you want that? He held receivers at a 50 or a quarterback rating of a 50% when targeted. 4 interceptions, like you said. You want sacks? He's blitzing. He got 8 sacks last year, made incredible plays. 100-plus tackles, which for college, you have to remember, that's 13 games. That's way harder to do at the college level. And just the thing that stood out to me above all the other linebackers is he has the highest football IQ from that position. He is the general of that defense. He knows where everything's going. Everything runs through him. Every team knew they had to prepare for Devin Lloyd, and every game Devin Lloyd showed out, and most of the time came out as the victor in those battles. I mean, this guy, what he was able to put together this year, one of the best linebacking seasons, probably since those Clay Matthews, Maluga teams, honestly, I can't remember a more impactful Pac-12 linebacker than Devin Lloyd. Pass coverage, the blitzing, the straight ahead tackling. He was ranked in all those areas above 80 in PFF, which is a very, very good grade according to PFF. So Devin Lloyd was my guy. And you add up all the production, but it's the IQ and the instincts. He is so gifted in those areas. And that's what you want from your linebacker. You want a cerebral linebacker that is able to make all the plays over the field. So I had him over a hair over our next guy,